Sir, please don't take me to jail. There's my ride right there.
You're under arrest.
No, I am.
Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. Now, some of you might recognize this one. It's an older video. It's a well-known case that's made its rounds online. This footage comes from Midwest Safety, and I want to give them full credit for bringing attention to what turned out to be a revealing and teachable traffic stop. Now, this is dated December 27th, 2021. This is just after Christmas. We're in Santa Rosa County, Florida. Deputies stop a vehicle creeping along at just 20 miles an hour in the 55-mile-per-hour highway. What starts as concern for the driver's safety turned into an investigation involving license suspension, conflicting stories, glass pipe, and eventually some meth. Today's lecture breaks down how an ordinary stop unravels into a full-blown felony case, and how each choice made by the driver compounded her legal problems. This one's called Missing License, Meth, and Missteps, a Florida traffic stop analysis. Let's jump in.
Roll this window down back here. Okay, the reason I'm stopping you is you're doing about 20 miles an hour in a 55, and you're not maintaining your lane. So, is everything okay?
Yes, sir. My transmission's just slipping.
Okay.
And I had an appointment to get it fixed. I went to it. They didn't have the car.
I just wanted to be able to see what I was walking up on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, I'm Deputy Gronenboom with Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office. I do need to see your driver license, your registration, insurance today. Do you have any firearms or weapons in the vehicle?
There's no firearms.
No firearms? All right. Where's your license at?
Honestly, my wallet was stolen.
Your wallet was stolen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other forms of identification on you today?
The only thing that I have nothing with my picture on it, yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead and roll down all the windows for me, please. All right. So, as you were saying?
I'm in the process of moving.
Okay.
My wallet was stolen, I guess, because I went to somebody's house and realized it was gone. I went and asked them about it. They said they hadn't found it.
Okay.
So I don't have my ID on me. I had my registration and everything, like...
Okay. Let's stop reaching around the vehicle if you don't know where anything's at. What's your first name?
Mary Lee.
All right. Current address?
Currently, I'm in the process of moving, but I was staying at, in Alabama.
That's not going to be your current address now?
No.
Since you don't have ID on you, I've got to try to look all this information up. I'm going to go run your license. Do you have a valid license?
I'm honestly not sure. I was paying, like, my fines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's, fixed yet.
Was it suspended?
It was suspended.
What were you suspended for?
Speeding ticket.
If you are still suspended, we're going to need you to have somebody come get you in the vehicle.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
What's that on the dash right there?
Right here?
Yeah.
Probably one of his tools.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's possibly a pipe that he's smoking something out of.
No, he works on the, they have like the big trucks and stuff over there.
Yeah, well, there's burnt residue in here.
Are you sure it's not oil from a truck?
I mean, it looks pretty crusted. And is there anything in the car going to you in trouble at all?
Not that I'm aware of, no, sir.
Not that you're aware of?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'm always finding nuts and bolts and like that everywhere.
That's just tobacco, it smells like. So.
Okay.
But like I said, it has been smoked out of, so
okay.
It's not just a tool.
Oh. I don't, like I said, I'm always finding nuts and bolts and stuff like this, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hold tight for me, okay?
Yes, sir.
First name is Mary Lee.
There was a little metal pipe on the dash. And she showed it to me. She's like, it's Dexter's tool. Dexter's her boyfriend. It's like, well, it's not a tool. It's a little pipe. She has some burnt residue in it. There was a faint smell of tobacco to it, but that's all I could really smell in it. So.
I ran up Florida multiple times. Didn't get a return back.
She may be lying about who she is. Interesting.
I got no return on my deal.
That is bizarre. Excuse me. Okay, Miss. I've got to be able to figure out who you are. I don't know if you're Miss or if you're giving me a false name.
I mean, I could give you
Listen to me. Listen. Right now, I'm running you through the computer system. Running DL numbers that are coming back to the name that you've given me, and so far we're not coming up with anything. So, do you have anything in that backpack that might help me identify you? Do you mind if I search your backpack for identification? All right, I've got a prescription bottle here with her name on it.
Can you check David for that name?
Nancy's coming. They said I can't leave until they figure out who I am. They don't believe that I'm...
We didn't say that. We're saying it's not coming back.
It's not coming back. My name's not coming back on that. Maybe because I was locked up for so long.
Not finding any type of Florida deal on her at all.
While we're doing this, just let me have you step out here.
Okay.
I'm going to set this back in here.
Okay. Huh?
Let's step back here.
I didn't get anything back out of Alabama either.
When was the last time you had a license? Have you ever had a license?
Yeah, I've had a license before. Yes, sir.
Okay. Out of Florida?
Yes.
It's weird they're not finding it. That's why I'm...
I mean, I was in prison for
187.
How long were you in prison?
4.5 years.
When did you get out?
I got out in 2017. The prison issued me an ID when I got out, and my wallet was just stolen. What, like a week ago?
We found a record of you being released from prison, but it doesn't have. We don't have a driver's license number. Well, there's nothing. All it says is your name, day of birth, and you were released from jail. Yeah, there's no picture or anything with it. So hold tight for us, okay? She's not paying on her penalties after she got out of jail is what that is. The car's not drivable. She said transmission is out and there's no insurance, so...
Last arrest was Duval County for trafficking heroin.
What happened to your car, your damage over here?
I bought it like that.
You bought it like that?
Yeah, I only paid $1,000 for it.
Holy cow.
I guess.
It's okay if I check real quick, make sure there's no... I'm mostly worried about guns. I
have no
down the
guns.
street.
I can guarantee you there's no guns in the car.
Is it okay if I check real quick?
I mean, I'd
Car real
rather
quick.
not. I guess that's my right as a person.
Yes, it is. You're right. How are you getting the car out of here? It's not drivable.
What do you mean it's not?
You said the transmission's out on it.
It's not all the way out. It works sometimes it doesn't.
20 miles an hour down the highway. That's very dangerous.
I know. I was going to pull over before y'all stopped me. I was pulling over to let it cool down. That's, I mean, all that has to be, like, yeah.
What you got?
She denied consent, and she says as soon as that transmission cools down, it will drive. It's fine. She says she has insurance on her phone that she's trying to locate right now. So she had failure to appear in 2019. Okay. She has several suspensions and failure to appear, so we can't get her a citation because she has a failure to appear.
That's fine. Okay, so what's the status on the ability to drive the car?
I mean, it's drivable.
You can't do 20 on this road.
I know that.
Somebody's going to rear end you.
Every now and then, it just, like I said, it just doesn't want to shift. And I was fixing to pull over, let it cool down, and then...
All right, that's not what we would consider operable.
No, and it doesn't always do that. It just...
Okay. How about the insurance? Did you ever find proof of insurance?
No, I know that it's through direct.
Well, that's not exactly proof of insurance, you know what I mean? All right, well, finish up your cigarette.
Somebody's on their way, though.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, with everything that we've had to do, and you got a failure to appear.
I have a failure to appear. I just got out.
Listen to what I'm saying. Okay, you have a failure to appear on your record, and you have multiple other failure to pay suspensions on your driver license. So we're going to go ahead because you can't provide us with an address. We write you a ticket. No, you said that's where you were at. That's not your current address. Okay, well, you said you're in between places. Okay, we have no place to find you should you not take care of this criminal.
I can give you my sister's address, who always knows where I'm at.
All right, well, that's not what we're going to do.
Take me to jail.
Finish your cigarette, okay?
Sir, please don't take me to jail. There's my ride right there.
You're under arrest.
No, I am not!
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Stop resisting!
Put your hand behind your back! Put your hand behind your back. You got it. Back. You're good. You're good. You're good. You want to put yours on? Get yours on. I'm on. Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting.
Stop resisting. Relax. Okay. Stop.
I'm not resisting.
Grabbing at me. Don't grab. Just relax.
I'm not resisting.
Okay.
Mommy.
You're okay. Relax.
I can't feel
Sit in the chair. Kick your feet up so you can stand up.
10-4.
There you go. I'll help you. Put your leg up underneath there. There you go. Right.
Can I give her the keys to my car?
Your car's getting towed.
Please, no, please.
Listen, you already got enough charges on top of what you already got, so you don't need any more.
Sir,
Okay.
respect this.
No.
Fair.
It's time to go. Come on. We're going back to the vehicle. Stand.
I was.
Is there anything on you we should know about before you start searching?
On lemon?
Is there something or no?
I mean, it doesn't matter now.
Let us know. Just let us know.
She trying to.
There's in the.
She trying to dig for something.
Okay. Stuff.
That one doesn't look.
Take a deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Do you need EMS for any reason?
I don't even know it. What do you want?
And you were saying there was something in your pocket?
It's rolled up in her. What's in her? Pills or something?
I don't honestly. It was in the car, so I just.
I'm not seeing anything.
Just calm down.
I don't want to go back to prison. I don't.
You said there was something rolled up. And there's
I
nothing
thought
in
there was. So maybe I'm wrong.
All
I want
right.
to go back to
So
prison.
nothing on you that you're aware of. Okay. All right. Have a seat up here.
Step up.
Okay, ACR when you can, please.
All that because we told her that she had to go to jail because she couldn't get a citation.
All right, so do we do vehicle inventory here?
Yes.
Okay.
She had some kind of knife or something. She said.
133.
That was
Rocks.
a lot. I
That's
think
just
those are
rocks.
actual rocks.
Those are actual rocks.
George 7 David. I believe
Oh, here we go. So we have a glass smoking device mixed up amongst the clothing in the front passenger seat, along with a plastic baggie.
So now it's probable cause search instead of just inventory.
Here we go.
Be careful, this one's broken. Oh, imagine that.
Residue?
Yeah, look at all that.
Oh. Holy heck.
That doesn't look normal. Look at all that.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so
probably a quarter detector.
I wonder if she tore this off and threw it back there while we were on the traffic stop.
She did reach up.
Because,
Yeah. She reached up at some point.
all right, I'm going to set this right here. I found that sitting on top of the pile of clothes in the passengers. Yeah, there's a lot of it in the corner and up in the crack here.
More contact with anybody. If you make the dispatch, make sure he figured it out.
Okay, now let's talk about the charges that Mary Lee is facing. First, you have driving while license is suspended. This is found at the Florida statute, section 322.34. This offense can be charged either as a civil infraction or a criminal misdemeanor, and it depends on the circumstances. In this case, the driver had prior suspensions and knew her license wasn't good, it wasn't valid. So this would be the perfect place for the criminal misdemeanor versus the civil infraction, which is just a ticket. The penalty, up to 60 days in jail, a fine of $500 if it were the first offense. Subsequent offenses can go as high as a first-degree misdemeanor, and that includes up to 1 year in jail. Next, we have obstruction without violence. This is found at the Florida statute section 843.02. This covers resisting, obstructing, and opposing an officer in the lawful execution of their duty. It has to be done without any threats or without any violence. The penalty, this is a first-degree felony. The punishment is up to 1 year in jail, 12 months probation, a fine of up to $1,000. Next, we have possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. This is found at the Florida statute section 893.136A. Possessing methamphetamine, a Schedule II controlled substance without a valid prescription, is a third-degree felony. This carries up to 5 years in prison, 5 years on probation, and a fine of up to $5,000. If she's convicted, it could also result in a 2-year driver's license suspension. Next, we have possession of drug paraphernalia. This is found at 893.147. Paraphernalia means items like glass pipes, devices used to ingest illegal substances. Now remember, they found that little copper pipe too. Maybe it was brass, not copper, on the dashboard. That was also a meth pipe too. He said he smelled tobacco in it. It probably was a meth pipe. Next, we have introduction of contraband into the detention facility. Now, we didn't see this part, but it was in the portion at the very end of the video. This is found at 951.22 of the Florida statute. All right, this talks about when you bring stuff into jails or prisons. Knowingly bringing drugs into a jail or prison, even if concealed on your person, is a 3rd-degree felony. All right, that carries that same 5 years in prison, or you can get 5 years on probation, and you can get a fine of up to $5,000. So if all the charges stacked and were prosecuted fully, Mary Lee could be facing multiple years back in prison, thousands of dollars in fines, and a long road of probation or some other type of supervision. Now let's take our time and let's walk through the 6 levels of evidentiary standards. These are the backbone of every legal decision, everything from whether an officer is going to arrest a person, all the way up to whether a person can be convicted on the charges that the prosecutor brings. First, mere suspicion. This is the most basic level of awareness. It's simply a gut feeling or instinct that something isn't right. Mere suspicion can't justify a stop or a search. It's often just when an officer sees something and that sort of tips them off to keep watching to see if something happens. It's based on law enforcement's intuition, body language, time of day, location, or minor behaviors that suggest that something is off, even if there's no clear evidence yet. Here, driving 20 miles per hour in the 55 zone and swerving sparks suspicion. Questions like, is the driver impaired, distracted, is she hiding something? All those questions, they sort of start everything going. We move up one more level, we go to reasonable suspicion. Now this is a legal standard. This isn't just a hunch. Officers must be able to point to specific and articulable facts suggesting that criminal activity may be afoot, and that means that it might be happening right now. This is what allows officers to legally detain someone for further investigation. It's what's known in the legal world as a Terry stop. Here, Mary Lee couldn't produce a license, and she had no ID or a solid address. All these factors taken together gave deputies a lawful basis to detain her and dig just a little bit deeper to see what's going on. We move up one more level, we go to probable cause. This is the threshold needed for an arrest. It's also the threshold to go get a search warrant from a judge and for charges to be filed against the person. Probable cause simply means that there's a reasonable belief based on the facts and the circumstances that the suspect committed a crime, is committing a crime, or will commit a crime, and that evidence will likely be found in a particular place. Here, probable cause arose when the deputies saw a glass pipe with burnt residue. That combined with the suspect's inconsistent answers, inability to verify identity, and her suspicious behavior. Later, at the jail, and we didn't see this part, but there was some meth discovered in her clothing. So remember when they were getting ready to put her in the car the first time, and one officer pointed to her side and said, look, she's reaching for something. And then she was saying she thought she had something in her pants, and they went down to the leg of her pants and were rolling them up and couldn't find anything. Well, they later found some meth in her, like in her bra or something like that. And once again, it was just in the talking portion. At the end of the video, we don't see it at all. It wasn't recorded. Number 4, preponderance of the evidence. This is the standard used in civil cases and in some post-arrest hearings. It means that something is more likely true than not. It takes about 51% of the evidence in your favor to win this type of case. If this were a civil claim over damage caused by the vehicle, the plaintiff only needs to show it was probably the driver's fault. Not definitely, just 51% in her favor saying it's the driver's fault. All right, number 5, clear and convincing evidence. This is the high burden used in more serious civil cases, and it's also used in some criminal cases to determine things like enhancements, certain defenses that a defendant may use, things of that nature. It means the evidence must be highly and substantially more likely to be true than not being true, and the fact finder must have a firm belief in the conviction of the truth. This standard comes up in family law cases where people are fighting over custody issues. You also have this in fraud cases in the civil realm. You also see it in administrative hearings, whether it be to terminate someone from employment or reinstate someone. In a criminal context, you might see this when the state wants to classify a person as a habitual offender or to impose some enhancement. In this case, if the prosecutors want to introduce her prior prison sentence to elevate the consequences, they need to meet this standard. All right, now we're talking about a trial, okay? Last, we have beyond a reasonable doubt. This is the highest standard in the American legal system. It applies in every criminal case, all criminal trials. It's very important to realize that beyond a reasonable doubt is not absolute certainty. It does mean moral certainty. The jurors must be convinced to the point that they have no other logical conclusions besides saying the defendant is guilty based on the evidence. If you're ever in a criminal trial, you hear it described as you will have to be so convinced that it will give you pause in the graver transactions of life. They're talking about things like making big decisions like, are we going to have a kid? Do I take a family member off life support? Hard decisions. That's what they want you to use as a juror when you're on the jury. To convict Mary Lee of meth possession, the state must prove she knowingly possessed the methamphetamine, that it was indeed a controlled substance, and that she intentionally concealed it. The presence of drugs in her clothes, her behavior during transport, and the test results all factor in. A jury must decide if it leaves no reasonable doubt in their minds. So remember, every legal encounter uses these evidentiary standards. As the evidence grows from being gathered, so does the police's authority to act. Now, let's step into the jury box. Would you believe the stolen wallet story first off? Or do you just see it as an attempt to dodge accountability? If she tells the police she doesn't have a wallet, that probably means she doesn't have a license with her, at least. When someone can't provide ID, can't confirm their license status, and gives shifting information, that's suspicious, right? When jurors are suspicious, that makes the credibility of the witness questionable. Next, did she resist because she was scared, or was she trying to avoid arrest altogether? Watch her body language during the arrest. And right before she tries to run, was she running to that other person's car, or was she trying to get in her car? And finally, did she knowingly possess and hide methamphetamine? You, as a juror, would have to decide her actions and if they were consistent with guilt or confusion. She reached into her clothing during transport. The substance was found directly on her person. Remember, she had pulled that mirror down that they found the drugs in the mirror. That was one of the flip down mirrors in your car. So she detached one of them. I couldn't tell if it was the passenger side or her side, but the officer said that they saw her when she yanked something down and they were confused and didn't know really what it was. Now, finally, we get to our final question. It's about intuition. What does your intuition tell you about this situation? Your intuition, you use it to really assess what people say and determine whether they're telling you the truth or what their intent is behind what they're doing. So here, guilty, not guilty? Let me know in the comments. And do you think that the level of evidence met was to beyond a reasonable doubt? This case shows how quickly a minor traffic stop gets out of control, how past decisions can follow you into every future encounter with the police. A suspended license, a hidden identity, a false story, and finally, methamphetamine and paraphernalia found throughout the car and on her person. All of it created a perfect storm for felony charges. I think this is a perfect point for that meme out there that says, you gotta leave that dope alone. If you ever wondered how to avoid going back to jail, this is a blueprint of exactly what not to do. Handle your legal issues, be honest, and most of all, if you're caught, don't make it worse by resisting or hiding evidence. Okay, I want to hear from you. Did the officers act appropriately? Was the arrest justified? Would you have done something different if you were on this stop? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video with someone. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy, and I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Everyone have a good Friday. Be safe. Have a good day.